Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this beginner's course, I'll be teaching us how to create a website from the scratch, from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Next.js, and some other programming language that we'll be teaching in this course. So now we are going to start from HTML. We are going to start from HTML first as a beginner's course. So we are going to start by asking we are going to start by asking what is HTML. Okay. So HTML is hypertext markup language as seen on MDN. So I will just quickly go to my browser and let's browse what is HTML. HTML is like the foundation of every website you see. It's like the skeleton of every website you see. That's every website you see is made up of HTML. Okay, I'll just take a little time to explain what HTML really means. Okay, let me open this website. There's what we call developers tool on every website. Is when you come to any website through your browser, either you are using Mozilla, the Mozilla browser, or you are using Explorer or Brave or Google Chrome, which we are using right now. You can simply press F12 to open your developers tool. Developers tool is where you will see some of the developers materials on every website. When you are coding or when you are building your own website, that's where you see them. So or you can right click on your browser, then you choose inspect. That's where you see the Mozilla's that's where you see the developers tool. So now let's go to our element. If you open your developers to have the element tab, we have the console tab, and we have the sources tab, and a lot of some of that, they will have the network tab. Let me break this thing down so that you can see it clearly. So now this is, if you look at this this is a website. This is a MDM website. It's also a good material for learning of web development. Okay, so if you inspect this, look at this place, we have our HTML. We have our HTML. Look, everything you are seeing here, this HTML tag. You see, everything you are seeing right here is HTML tag. This is HTML. This is how HTML is being used to develop website. Okay, so now we also have other okay, let me choose the console tag. This console tab is where you will see your JavaScript code, whatever you are writing on your JavaScript when you want to debug, okay, or when you want to write your console. That's where you see your your JavaScript code. Then we have sources, that's for source code. We have the network. The network is where you see your activity when you are making HTTP request. That's the HTTP, that is the crude operation between the backend and the front end, where you are interacting with your backend, okay, or any of the database or API that you're interacting with. API means application programming interface. Okay, so now the next thing you ask is, when you want to start building a website, what are the basics? What are the basics tools that you need? First of all, as a beginner, what you need, number one, is the VS Code. Number two is a browser. In this course, we'll choose Chrome browser, okay, to view our website. So now, if you, this is what we have on the screen right here is Visual Studio Code, which is what we need to build our website. So let's go back to our browser, okay. So let's go back to our browser. I will also open, okay, let me quickly open another website and also show you that I'll also show you how HTML is also being used on that website. Okay, this is my personal website. This is my portfolio website. I will just quickly inspect it. Okay. So if I inspect this, look at, if you check here, you see the HTML. Look at the HTML right here. You see the HTML right here. So if I should choose any of these, I can get any of these. Like this is my name, Tempunduku. So if I click this, you see where it is. Look at it right down. Look at it down there. Look at it down there. This is the HTML. This is a HTML tag, H1. This is an HTML tag. Look at my name there. So this how HTML is being used to create websites. So the next one now is, now we have seen what HTML is and how HTML is being used to create websites. So now I will show you what um I'll show you what Visual Studio Code it looks like. So look at this place. This is Visual Studio Code. This, look at my tab right there. Look at my cursor right there. This is Visual Studio Code. This application you're seeing is Visual Studio Code. This is what you need to code um your website. And there are other code editor. We call it code editor, but in this course I'm choosing Visual Studio Code. That is what I mostly work with. There are other code editors like Sublime and all the rest of them, but I will choose Visual Studio Code in this course. Another one is the Google Chrome. This is the Google Chrome. Okay, you can quickly download it in your machine. Let me quickly show you how you can download the VS Code. So when you come to your browser, you simply type Visual Studio Code. You simply type Visual Studio Code. This is Visual Studio Code. You just click it. Okay. So when you click it, you have this option to download. I'm already running on Windows machine. Okay, I'm running on Windows machine, so you can download for Windows. It's showing Windows because I'm using Windows machine. If you are on Mac OS or any other operating system, you can quickly select this drop down and choose the type of machine you are using. Okay, so now the next one is the Chrome browser. This is Chrome browser we all know. This is the browser we all know. So when we are coding, all the websites we will be developing in this course will showcase it in the Chrome browser. Okay, so now let's start coding. The next thing to do is to create a file where your website will live in. Okay, the website you want to create, you have to create a file where you keep it. So what I'm going to do, I will quickly go to my desktop and create a file, or what you call, I will create a folder, or what you call directory. Okay, I will choose my desktop as the location of my folder to make it easier to access. So I will just right click and create a new folder. So this is folder, I'll call it my first website. Okay, so now we have created a new folder on our desktop. You can as well create this folder in any of your computer location. So I will just go now. Let's open this VS Code. After installing this VS Code, it's very easy to install. Just install it. It's a straightforward process. Okay, so once you open it, it will look something like this. It will look something like this. This is how VS Code will look like. Okay, so when you install it, you will have the welcome note or something like this. Okay, so the next thing to do is to open that file that we have created in your VS Code. Okay, so now after creating it, you quickly come and choose look, you can just close that welcome note. You quickly come and choose this file. Look at this place where I have my cursor. Click this file. When you click it, you see this a pop-up. Then you choose open folder. When you choose open folder, you go to your desktop location, choose that file that we have just created, or any other file, or any of the location where you created your folder. You choose it. I'll select folder. Our folder is opening. Okay, so our folder is up now. So it's up. We are ready to create our first HTML file. So now, how do we start creating HTML file? That's the first question you ask. What the next thing to do is, let's just close this welcome note. So next thing to do, now you have your file, that your file is open, your folder is open in your VS Code. What you have to do is look at this first icon. It's called new file. That icon is to create file, and this one is to refresh your Explorer. The next one is to collapse your folder structure in your VS Code, but that one is not needed now. The next one there is to create a new folder, so you can as well expand this to see all of that. So what you're going to do is you just click on this first icon that is called new file. You click it, and then it will give you an input where you write your file name. So we'll call it index.html. Okay, remember again, this file you can call it anything, whatever you like, you can call it anything, but the rule there is that it must end with that index.html. Okay, let me show you quickly. Let me quickly show you an example. If I click on a new file again, I'll call it my first website.html. You see that I can call it anything, but what it means that it must surely end with HTML. Okay, so now wait, let's close this. When you come to now, what it simply means that we have just created a HTML file. Okay, so the next question now is, how do we start coding? How do we start creating a website with the HTML? How do we start writing a HTML code? Okay, so I will just show you what HTML is. So now, if you want to start, the first thing to do is to type the HTML tag. You close it. Look at it. This is what you have just done here, is what we call HTML tag. This is HTML tag. We have a lot of tags, but this one now is the main HTML tag that encloses all of that tag that you'll be writing in your HTML file, in any of your HTML file. Okay, you can as well create as many as HTML files you want in your folder, in your particular project. Okay, so now this HTML file is the main parent that encloses all other HTML tags. Inside this HTML tag, we have two principal tags that are inside this HTML tag. The first one is the head tag, and the next one is the body tag. The next one is the body tag. Okay, so now we have written the head tag and the body tag. You will start asking me, what's the difference between the head tag and the body tag? As the name implies, the body tag is the part of the website that you see. That's where everything lies in. The body tag contains every part of the website that you see. Let me quickly go to that my personal website again. I'll show you. It's called Tech. So I will quickly show you. So right from here, this place that has a kind of gray color, background color. Look at my mouse. This place that has this background color side. Everything inside this website now is enclosed in the body tag. Okay. Then the head tag also. The head tag is inside this. The head tag is this place will have temple at the top. This is called the title of the website. This place is called the title, and this smaller image you are seeing here, look at my cursor. This smaller image you are seeing right there is called the favicon. The favicon, they are all enclosed in the head tag. So the difference now is that this part of the website that you are seeing is inside the body tag, while the other parts of the top part of the website, that is the title part, and the favicon is enclosed in the head tag. And as well, the head tag also contains what we call the meta tag. That's a part where we write our SEO content for our HTML file. Okay, SEO means search engine optimization. It's what helps you to bring up your website when they search it on Google. Okay, so now let's go back to our HTML file again. So now we have just created this HTML file. Let me quickly close all of this. Okay, so now that we have just created a HTML file, what is the next thing to do? The next thing to do, we'll quickly write our body tag. Let's put down something on our body tag. We'll write a div. A div is a HTML tag as well. We'll use it to group our code, or as well use it to style a particular or group a particular section. It's kind of like section or a main tag. So let me show you. Now let's write a H1 tag. You have H1 tag, we have H2 tag, we have H3 tag, we have H4, H5 to up to H6. It's called heading, or called header. Header 1, header 2, header 3. As the name implies, it's used to write headers. Okay, you know what header means, like in a heading of a subject of something. So now let's say let's write something. This is my first website. Okay, using header 1, or let's call it H1. Okay, so now we have just written something in our body tag. The next one will be the head tag. What do we have there? We have the title tag inside inside the head tag. So now let's call it our first website. Okay, let's call it our first website. So now we have just created a HTML file. This, what we have here, is a typical website. The only difference that we have not enriched the content, we have not uh, supplied enough content to the website. But what you are just seeing here is just it's just a simple website. Okay, so now the next question is, how do I bring up this first HTML file to be a website on the browser? There are two ways to do this. Number one is quickly go to this icon right here. There's this icon here. It's called extension icon. Click it. When you click it, you search for live server. Search for live server. Okay. So when you search for live server, look at it here. This first one by Ritwik Day. When you click it here, you install it. I already have it, so I don't need to install it again. I already have it, so just quickly install it. That's the only step. That's the only process to get it. Okay, you don't need to go further to install it. Just click the install, and it's good. It's good to go, right? So now, once you have this live server extension, just close it down. Close it again. Come back to your HTML file again. Right click. When you right click, you choose open with live server. When you choose open with live server, this way your website will come up on the Google Chrome. I've already chosen Google Chrome as my default browser. Okay, so whatever I'm doing here is going to my Google Chrome, and I believe as well, if it's your first time, it will ask you for the browser you want to use. Okay, you can choose any of your browser, but I prefer Google Chrome. All right, so what you're going to do, just choose open with live server. Once you choose open with live server, look at this place here. It's starting. Your website is processing. It's starting. It's loading on the browser. Once it's completed, it will take us to the browser where you will view the website we have created with this our simple HTML. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it here. You see, it has just that directed us to the browser. So now this is our first website. That's the stuff we just wrote on our VS Code. You see what it means now. We'll simply have a new website. Okay, I think correct, guys, correct. That's a good job. And if you look at here, we'll have our first website as the title of this website that we are creating. All right. So now you can see that this is the title part, and this part is the body tag. This is the body tag part, and this part is for the head tag part. All right. So now I'll show you another way you can also view your website on the browser. If maybe one way or the other something happened and you're unable to get the live server extension. So let me show you what you're going to do. You simply go to the file, this folder we created. All right. So just click it. Once you click it, you choose the particular file that you're working on. Right now, we are currently working on the index file. All right. We are working on the index file. Right click it, choose it, right click it, go to open with a Chrome extension. If I choose open with Chrome extension, you will see that the website will also open on the Google Chrome browser. Look at it. Look at it. It's just right here. So if you watch very well, there's a difference between the first one we use the live server to open, and the next one we use the let's call it the manual path to open. All right, you can see the web address of this one and the other one is they are different. And another thing, the live server is very good, and it helps you to update your website. Once you make any change on your VS Code, it updates the change on your browser immediately. You don't need to reload the browser, right? But if you're using the other manual part, you have to keep reloading your browser, which is not efficient. All right, which is not efficient. So now what you're gonna do, the next thing you're gonna do now is, how do we start writing our VS? How do we start writing our HTML, make it look good? What are the next steps to take? So now let's clean up this. I want to show you something. I want to show you another thing. Let's quickly clean up this. We have just written a simple website, but this website, there's something that will lack in this. There's something that we don't have in this VS Code. This HTML file is not actually the standard. It's not the latest HTML that we are writing right now, because we didn't put what we call the doc type file. Us at the very top of every HTML file. What that tag, what it does is that it tells your browser that this file, this HTML file is, it's the HTML5 file. All right, this HTML file is very good because it has a very good support for SEO. All right, and SEO is very important for every website you are building, so that people, when people search on the Google or any browser, they can easily find your website. All right, so now let's clean up this. I want to show you something. It's kind of a shortcut to write what we call the HTML boilerplate. Okay, so just hit the choose your shift key, you press 1, press and hold the shift key, then you press 1, you will see this exclamation mark that will come up, just the one, the single one. Either select it or you hit your tab key. All right, so now I've just done that. You see, we have a well, like it's kind of like a prepared HTML template. We call it a boilerplate. All right, so now look at it here. You see the different one. Now we have the doc type, and as well you cannot type this thing by yourself, but using that shortcut makes it very easier. Like it saves time, so we don't need to start typing all of that. So now you have this doc type, which I explained. What doc type means is that it tells your browser that this HTML file is HTML5. It's a type of HTML5. We have other HTML, but for this course and every other project we are going to be building here, every other website we are going to be designing, we are going to be using the HTML5. All right, and this doc type is what tells the browser that this file is HTML5. So now, and also as well, it has the language as well. It has the language attribute as well. So now let's start writing again. Let's change this title to back to our first website. All right, so so now the next step will be, let's write a div. Let's write a div. So we'll say this is let's put down h1. So now what I'm going to do now, I want to so now what I'm going to do now, I want to teach us about the header tag, the h1, h2, h3, h4, and h5 to 6. That's what we use to write kind of like a subheading or a subject in the website. Like when you are designing, you want to write a heading of anything or any page, you use the header tag. And as well, you can also use the peak tag or any other tag at which you can use the font size or the any other thing to design it. But the one of the common ways or majorly which you write the header is using the header tag. So now this is header 1. I'll just write this is header 1, or this is h1. And of course, if you have any question, any observation, comment, any contribution, do well to leave a comment on the channel. I'm going to respond to you, or just leave your comment. I'll respond to you. Okay, and I appreciate that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to keep us going. Okay, so now let's quickly copy this and paste it down. So it's up to 6. So this will be the header 2, and we'll have the header 3 as well. We'll change all of this, and this will be the 4. All right, so this will be the header 5. Okay, so we have the header 6. All right, we have the header 6. All right, so now let's quickly change the names as well. So this is header 2, header 3. All right, so this is header 4 as well. So this is 5. This is 6. So we can let's make it a little bit bigger. So this is my first website header 1. This is my first website header 1. I think this way is gonna make our words to be more visible. Okay, So I'm just gonna copy this down. Okay. If there is anything you don't understand in this process, kindly leave a comment below. Okay, I'm going to respond to you guys. So now we have just written the h1, h2, h3, h4 down to h6 tag. These are called the HTML tags. All right. So now let's go to our website again. You see that the website will update by itself. Look at it. It has just updated by itself. That's what the live server does. All right. So look at, if you look at it, the head down, the head h1 is bigger than the h2, h2 is bigger than h3, h3 is bigger than h4, and so on and so forth, down to the h6. All right. So now if you want to write heading for whatever you are writing, you just choose the appropriate one that will suit the look of your website. All right. So now I will show us another tag that is called the p tag. Let me write a new div again. I like to use div to organize my code. All right. So this is my first website paragraph. All right. So my first website paragraph. So I've just written the first paragraph. This p tag is called paragraph. That's what the p tag is, paragraph. Like when you want to write a paragraph in your letter or whatever you're writing, and you want to put down a paragraph on your website, you choose the paragraph. And as well, you can also use the CSS property to increase the font size or the style or the color or the font family. All right. So now this is the p tag. Look at it. We have just written a p tag. Okay. There's another tag again called the image tag. Yes, it's good. Let's talk about the image tag. The image tag is kind of different from what we have been writing so far. If you look at this, you can see that all of these tags that I've been writing they all have what we call the closing tag and the opening tag. Okay. If you look at this p tag, it has this first one, the first opening one doesn't have the forward slash, while the last one has the closing part has the forward slash. That's the difference between the opening tag and the closing tag. Every HTML tag has the opening tag and the closing tag, except in the case of a self-closing HTML tag. There are HTML tags that are called the self-closing tag, which are the link in which we use in the header tag. This special link, the link we use in the header tag is a self-closing tag. Okay, it doesn't need the closing tag, the two tags, the first one and the last one. No, it needs only one, the link tag, where we use to link up our CSS. And as well, the image also is a self-closing tag. It doesn't need the two tags, it needs only one. All right, so let me quickly show you. So now, right, if you want to put the image, if you want to write image tag, is img. And what does the image tag do? The image tag helps you to bring in your image in your website. If you want to put any image in your website, you bring your image, use the image tag and bring it in your HTML. So now let's look at the ways. You can see there's a difference between all the tags we've been writing and this image tag. So image tag also, this is the image tag. This is the way it's buried. Then it needs some other properties called attributes. There's what to call attributes. There's what to call attributes in HTML tags. Every HTML tag has attributes that you can attach to them. Okay, there's what we call HTML attributes. There are some HTML tag has what we call attribute, like the image has the attributes. In fact, every HTML tag has what we call attributes. You can either use the when you are putting your class, that's an attribute. When you're putting the IDs, is an attribute. When you're putting the data sets, all of that are the attribute. Let me quickly show you what I mean. So look, this is the image tag. Now, like this, your image is not showing. So how do you bring your image inside the tag? You write what we call the SR. The SR, this means source. That is the source of your image. Is an like the way you have written it is an attribute. It's just like the property you're adding to that particular tag. All right. So now another attribute the image has is what we call the auth. The auth attribute. What the auth attribute does is that it takes in a word. It takes in words. Okay. The words tells the browser this is what the image is, in case for any reason your image is broken, your image is not your image was not able to show up. Okay, so let me quickly write this. Okay, so this is image. I want to show you something. Image tag. All right, so another thing is the image tag also it requires the height and let's call it 400 pixel, the height and the width as well. Requires the height and the width property as well. So when you see this, you see there is a lot of difference between the other tag we have been writing with the HTML with the image tag. The image tag requires a lot of these attributes to work. Now we have just written this image tag. Now if you go to your website, you can see that the image tag will not show because we have not imported our image. You have not given it any image to showcase on the website. I will show you how to show up the how to bring your image in the image tag. So let's go to our website. You see, look at on the website now. We have this image icon. Our image is not showing, but we have that tag that says this is image. We have that tag we have that attribute called auth. It's showing this image tag. All right, and why is showing? Because our image is broken. We don't have any image. So how do we get an image? Let's quickly go to Google and pick up any random let's just pick up any random image. Okay, this is a random image of let's pick up this blue one. Okay, so now let's quickly copy. Is either you download it or you copy the URL, but let's just copy the URL. I will also show you when you download it how you can do it. Okay, so let's copy the image address. Copy the image address here. You right click on the image and copy the image address. Then you go to the SR source, paste the address there. You see, just paste the address there. So let's do control save and go back to our browser again. You see, look at it, look at it, look at it. We have the image here. The image is right here. Okay, the image is right here. This is an image, it's right here. Okay, so now you can as well start. Let's reduce the size of the image. I think the size is a little bit big. I think it's too big. Let's just think it's too big. Let's just arrange this a little bit. Okay. That's all I need to a little bit. Okay. So now let's reduce the size. Let's bring it down to 200 pixel. I will teach us what pixel means. That is sizing, how to also choose the size of your website. So we have just reduced the size of the website. So the next thing I want to teach us is what we call the file path in HTML. There's what we call the file path in HTML. File path means how you access or the location of the material you want to access, either the file or an image you want to access on your project. Okay, so now let me show you what absolute path. Okay, we have what we call the absolute path and the relative path in your file path in your HTML or any other language you're using. So let me or the JavaScript. Okay, so let's continue. So now the absolute path is when you like look at this, when we have copied a full URL, it's just like a standard URL that we have copied. We have copied the URL to paste in this file, this source. Okay, either the JavaScript source or the image source or any other source that we have just copied the URL and pasted it. It's called the look at it. When you copy this and paste the full URL, it's called the absolute path. Okay, I will as well show us the another one called the relative path. Let's create another HTML image tag again. So this is another relative. This is another source. Let's create the auth. Maybe we'll just quickly leave the auth for now so that we can run faster. I'll need the height of 200 pixel. We need the height of 200 pixel and also a width of 200 pixel as well. All right. So now the question is, how do you bring in your relative part? What relative part does is that the location of that file must be within this directory that we're working in. It must be that file you want to bring in, the image or whatever, it must be within this um, folder we are working in. Choose a random image again. Okay, so this image, let's choose this. If you want to get this, what you have to do is that you have to save this image. Okay, save it inside the directory, inside that folder where we are creating this website. Okay, so let's save it inside that folder. So we'll choose the location, the file name. This is location. Let's choose the location. The file is inside the let's call it random image. All right, so this is random image. This is random image. So you save, is a JPEG. You save. So now that we have saved it, you see that image, that second image that we just reaching out is not showing, but because the source has no property. So what we're going to do is, let's bring in that image. Look at that, our image is right here in our file. Okay, it's right there. You can as well, if you have any image in your system, you can as well drag and drop inside this VS Code. So what you're going to do right now is, let's bring in this image, this random image. Let's bring it in. How do you do it? You write /, then you choose this image. Look at this image. Look at, you are just using that image. You see now that it will show. The difference now that this one, the location of this image is inside this directory, is inside this folder, while the other one is a standard link that I will just copied and pasted in the source directory. If you can see, look at it here, it's showing right here. You can see that the image is now showing in our website. All right, so now the next topic we're going to talk about is, okay, let's talk about some other HTML tags. I've just explained what the file path means and the two types of it. So now I will show you some other tags again. There's what we call, okay, let's talk about the block elements, inline elements, and the block inline element. There's what we call block elements, block inline elements, and the block inline. So what does that mean? It's kind of like the display, how the HTML tags are being displayed. All right, let's write another tag, or let's write a section tag. This is another HTML tag. It's used also for grouping your tags to make it look more cleaner, or for styling, or you want to access that particular section the way the name implies. So now let's write, I want to show something. Let's write a p tag. Remember, there are other lot of HTML tag, but these are the ones we use on our, like, they are very handy. So now let's write, this is another paragraph. This is another paragraph. All right, this is another paragraph. Okay, so now let's make it a little bigger in our website. So you have just written, you see now, I want to show you something. I want to show you something. If you look here, this p tag is going to occupy the whole of this line. You look at that line, it's going to occupy down to the edge, to the very extreme of this website. There is no other tag will take part in this line that this p tag has taken. All right, that's what we call block elements. P tag, h1, a lot of other tags are block elements. All right, they are block elements. I will try as much as possible to mention the ones that are block element and the ones that are inline elements. Okay, so what this block element means, that that particular tag will take the full width. It will take the full width of that website, the width. It will take the full width, that line. And when you are writing a new one, it auto starts from a new line. if you look at this image, you see something different, that the two image we just wrote, they were not in the same line from the code, but on our website they have just aligned themselves in the same line, meaning that they are inline elements. They are not taking the full width. If you look at, they are not taking the full width of this website. They are just putting themselves in the same line. They are not taking the full width. But look at those p tag and other, they are taking the full width. They are starting on a fresh line. That's what the block element means. You really need to know this so that you don't mess up your styling. Okay, so now if you look at this website, if I have to put it, okay, let's simply put a little color, let's use a little css to color that um let's use a little css to color that. Let's put the background color. You see how it has taken the full width. Let's give it a brown color, a background color. So this p tag, we have just given this p tag a background color of brown. All right, so I just want to show you how it's going to take the full space, the full width. You look at it, it's taking the full width despite the text being at a very short play, but it's taking the full width of this website. That's why it's called a block element. No other element will take part in this line that it has occupied. All right, any other tag you are writing is going to start down here. It's not going to take a new line because it's a block element. The same thing with this hashtag h1 and other. Even a div is also a block element. A section is a block element. Main is a block element. A lot of them. All right, so I want to show you another one called the span tag. Let me write the span tag. Span tag is an inline element. Span tag, this is a span tag, is an inline tag. All right, is an inline tag. So if you watch it, this is a span tag. It's not going to start from this place because we already have a block tag that takes the full width. So this span tag is going to take a new line. Okay, it's going to take a new line. That's just what happened right now. But let's also give it a background color and see what's going on there, if it's going to take the full width or not. So let's quickly style it and let's give it another color. Let's say any other color like green something. Let's just choose this. All right, so now look at it. You see the difference. It's just taking only available width. It's taking only the available where the text can contain. That's what it's taking. It's not taking the full width. And what this means, that if you write another inline tag, okay, it will also start, even if you start it in a new line from your VS Code. If you write another span tag, is going to, this is another span tag, is going to take, this is going to continue from that same line. Look at it, it's going to continue from that same line because it's an inline element. It doesn't take the full width and it doesn't start from a new line. Okay, let me just write another p tag. You see that it will start from a new line. It's not going to join them there. Another p tag to display block level. Okay, so now if you look at it, you see the p tag is also taking a fresh new line, and it will as well take the full width. It will not allow any other tag to join in the same line with it. Okay, as well, by default there are tags that are in line block. You can as well use css to change the display property to block or inline. Okay, so now you can as well use the flex and the grid CSS properties to change the display property. So with time we will all get to that. Okay, so now we have just shown us what the block and so let's quickly write another tag. There's another tag called the form tag. Let's use another tag called the main to also organize our code. So I want us to quickly run through about the HTML form. Okay, so let's quickly run through the HTML form. I want to show us how to write a form in case you want to submit a form on HTML or your website. Okay, how do you code it? So let me show you what the HTML form is. This is the tag, the HTML tag for form. Look, this is the form. So let's write a heading inside it. Let's use the header 3 or our website form. All right, so this is our website form. We have just written another tag there. That tag is a block element. So let's start coding. Let's start so inside your form tag we have the input. All right, we have different types of the input. We have the text input, we have the radio input, we have the checkbox, we have the select. Okay, we also have the submit button. Okay, so now let's quickly write the first one. The first one will be an input. How do you write an input? Input is also a self-closing tag. It's a self-closing tag, and this as well is an inline element also. So now let's quickly write. The input also has what we call the attribute. It has the attribute of, it has different types of attribute. Number one is the type attribute. You have to tell the input that this input is a type of what? Text. So this one is a text. It takes in the text property, like your text. It takes in text. We have the radio box, which takes in the select. The other I will show you all. Okay, so let me just quickly show you down. Right, so now I have the type as text. So let's come to our website and see what we have there. Okay, I believe, look at it, look at it, look at it. We have the type here. Look at this, just a form. We have just written a form. Okay, so this is just a form. This is just a form. So now look at it. This is just how to submit your form. This, you can type something inside it and hit your enter submit button. It will go on if you have implemented the action to receive to process the form. Okay, so now let's start organizing our form. So there's another tag called the label form. The label for the your HTML form. So let's call it first name. That's the label. The label means to identify, the way the name implies, to identify. You can see that the label is as well an inline element. It doesn't start on a new line. That's why the input there have to join it. Okay, so look at it. I just written our first name. This is our first name. So let's give, there's another attribute called placeholder in the form. Let's call it our first name. I'll show you what the placeholder means. So look at it. The placeholder is that text you are seeing inside that input before you start typing. That's what the placeholder means. So now if you come to now again, I'll show you another tag again called the BR tag. The BR tag, is also a self-closing tag. It helps to break the new line. Okay, let me quickly show you something. Let's say if you want to type another okay, let's put all of this inside a div. Let's cut it and put it inside a div. It helps to arrange our code very well. Let's just put it inside a div. Okay, so now we have this inside a div. So if you write another one, another div, so that we don't need to use the BR tag, we'll quickly say this is our last name, and this also will take last name. Okay, so now if you check our website, look at it, we have the first name, last name form. Okay, so the next one you talk about is the let's talk about the radio box and the let's talk about the checkbox. So in the checkbox, what happens in the checkbox is that you have to change the type to checkbox. You have to change the type to checkbox. You see, it's kind of where you have to tick something. Look at it. Okay, you have to select one. Where you have to tick as many as you want. All right. So now we have to use a BR tag here. Look at the BR tag. The BR tag, what does it do? It helps to break that line, that your code. It will make your HTML tag to start in a new line, making it look like a block element. Okay, so now you see that we have many checkboxes here. You can choose as many as possible. That's what the checkbox does. So let's change it. Let's say fruit. Let's call it fruit. All right, so let's assume these are names of fruit. Let's put a new tag here to identify this. We can call it okay, let's also use the p tag. I'll call it the fruit for our favorite fruits. All right, so if you call it, these are favorite fruits, so we have to choose. So what is going, let's call it orange, mango, um, banana. All right, I think I like banana. All right. Like banana. So yeah, I'm gonna choose my favorite fruit. Gonna be banana. I'll choose banana. All right, choose banana. Yeah, choose banana, and as well I can choose oranges too. So what the checkbox does is that it gives you opportunity to select more than one choice. All right. There's another one called the radio box. The radio box only gives you the opportunity to select only one property. It helps you to select only one property. All right. So now let's call it a favorite programming language. All right. So now let's change this type to radio box. Let's change it to radio box. And you see the difference between this. So the radio box has to be only two. It has to be only because, or any, it can be any amount, but you must choose only one. Okay. So let's also change this to radio box. Change this to radio box as well. So now look at it. Okay. So now let's call this a JavaScript. I'll call this Python. I'll call this Rust. Okay. So if you come here, you look at it, you can only choose one. Once if you implement the action, you can only choose one. If you implement the action, you can only choose one. Okay, so that this is the radio box. So the next one here is let me quickly show you the next one. The next one is the select. Select is also a kind of form that gives you the opportunity to select option. So now that select, look at the select. The difference is that it doesn't use that input tag. It use only select. Okay, so look, the select also has a children of it has children tag called the option. So the options that this is the option you choose from. You choose one. Okay, in other higher learning, you cannot, there's a way you can make it to also choose multiple. So now let's write first, let's call it our first option, second option, okay, the next one is a third option. All right, so now look at it, you see the way it will show. Look at it, look at the option down there, look at it. So you can choose one, anyone you want. You can choose anyone. This is the option. So another one is the let's quickly show you. Let's quickly show the let's put down another div and show the button tag. The button tag which we use for our submission. And again, the button tag has different types. It has the I think it has the type of submit, the type of button, and the other type. So if you close this here, you can say submit. So this will have the type of let's call it button, so that it doesn't call this in the submit. So but if you are submitting, you can call it the submit button or button. So now I'm calling it the button because I'm not submitting anything. Okay, so now look at it, if you refresh, you need to refresh it. Look at it. So have that little button, very little, but look at it down there. You can just use CSS to style it so that it will look good. Let's just give it a background color of green. Let's give it a background color of green. All right, then let's give it a padding. Let's give it a padding of 12 pixel, and let's just give it a padding of 12 pixel. So look at it there, look at it, it's just big there. Look at this. You have just increased. So what padding does, that padding helps you to increase that the size that is within inside the border. We'll get to learn about padding margin and the border. That's what we call the box model in CSS. Okay. So now if you look at it, so let's quickly start this CSS. Let's quickly start. So now let's quickly style this our form. Let's bring it to the center and make it look different. Okay. So where is that? Okay. Look at our form is enclosed inside the main tag. Let's just style it. So this is let's just give it a display of flex. Okay. So justify content. Let's make it center. All right. So now with that CSS, we have just styled our form to be at the center of this side. So let's also give it a background color. I just want to make it look a little bit good. We just choose a little bit blue violet. We need something calm. Just a very calm color. Okay, look at it. Look at that. Let's look at that color. Okay. So we have just styled our form. So now another tag we are going to talk about is okay, let's talk about the HTML comment. There's what we call comments in HTML. So what does a comment do? The comment helps you to hide, or like if you want to hide a code, if you want to write a code, okay, and you don't want the code to be seen on the website, that's what you use the comment to do. This is to demonstrate comments. This is to demonstrate HTML comments. All right. So now, if you look at this code, if you look at this, let me just quickly refresh. I think what's going on? Let's refresh. This is the, I think, what happened? Let's do this. I think something must have gone wrong. Something must have gone wrong. Okay, I think I will just write it inside the main, which is not supposed to be. Let's put it aside. So now look at that. This is to demonstrate HTML comment. So now if you have written this comment and you don't want this, maybe if you're reading this code, you don't want this code to show on the website, but you want it to stay, you want it to still be on in your HTML file. What you're going to do, you're just going to comment it. You just highlight it, press Ctrl// this is a shortcut way to comment your HTML code. So now we have just commented this code. And another way, you remember, if you want to do it manually, you just type the less than, then exclamation mark, then do minus minus. I'll go to the end of that code, that particular code you want to do it, and as well type minus minus with the greater than sign. So let me just uncomment it again. I'll just highlight it again, and let's do it manually. All right. So if I comment it now, let me show you. If I comment it, I'll go to the website. You will see that the code has disappeared. It's no longer there. That code has just disappeared. You will not see it again until you uncomment it. So let's uncomment it as well. I Ctrl// again. We have just uncommented it. Look at it. It has appeared again. So if you want to do it manually, it's just as simple as well. You do, but I think you prefer to do it with that shortcut. But just do less than sign, do exclamation, minus minus. You see it's showing already. Then you do minus minus. Make sure you enclose it. All right, look at it. It's down. It's just there again. So now it's just there again. So now let's talk about what we call the class and the IDs in HTML. All right. So now let's write a new tag. And let's write a h2 tag. Remember, these are not the only tags we have in HTML. We have a lot of HTML tags, but you can choose according to what you want to use. Okay, you can still make research and choose the other ones you may want. So this is class and ID HTML. So now let me make it two. I think I should make it, this is class, the first one should be class, the next one will be ID. Okay, so now this is also called an attribute. You put a class of my class. All right, so the next one you can as well put no ID, use ID, my ID. Okay, so what does this class and ID do? It helps to access your particular HTML tag. If in case you want to use it on your JavaScript code or you want to style it, okay, you can use the this class attribute or the ID attribute to access that particular HTML tag you want to make use of, either in your HTML, either in your JavaScript or your CSS. That's the way to manipulate the HTML in the DOM. Okay, that's the way to manipulate the DOM. So now, if look at it now, we have just selected it now. This is the class. If we are writing the CSS now, you can choose the name of this class. We will explain this further in our HTML code. All right. So this is the way to write class and the way to. So all you want to do, all you just have to do is select this name of this class. Go to your JavaScript or your CSS where you want to make use of it and utilize it. And of course, in our CSS, we'll demonstrate more how to use it. Okay. So let's move forward. Okay. Let's check what we have done so far. So you see, we have just selected the file. You see. Okay, the next topic is the anchor tag. Let's talk about the anchor tag. That's how you bring in the links in your code. Okay, let's talk about the anchor tag. The anchor tag is, we use the A tag to access links in our website and also bring links in our website. Okay, so now the anchor tag takes the attribute of href. All right, so we can just call it click here. All right, let's bring in a new website. Let's bring my website. Okay, so I'll show you what this is gonna do. So now you have an anchor tag. This href takes in that URL where you want the anchor tag to lead to. Okay, so you can also use it to access another in case you want to go to this, like you want to go to this my first website page of the HTML, you can as well use it. So this one we are using, remember this type of file path is called the absolute path. All right, so now we'll go to our website. If you go to our website, you will see, let's reload. Look at this click here, is an anchor tag, and you can see it has an underline. You can use CSS to remove it. So if I click it here, it will quickly take me to my personal website. Let's click it and see what happens. You see, it will just redirect me to my website. That's what the anchor tag does. Okay, so another thing we'll talk about is let's talk about the what we call the list in HTML. All right, so let's talk about the list. So how do you write a list in HTML? In case you want to write a list, so how do you write it? We have the unordered list, we have the ordered list, unordered list, and the ordered list. All right, so the unordered list uses the URL. So inside the URL, we have the li. All right, so number one, we can call it number one. Let's quickly choose number 2. All right, number 3, number 4, and number 4. Okay, so let's see what you see. Look at it. Is the way on ordered is not numbered. It uses this dots. You can as well use CSS to change it, the type of the bulletin you want. All right, but with this, it uses the dot bulletin to number your items. All right, so now let's talk about another one called the ordered list, which is the one that is you use OL. All right, use OL. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. You see the difference? The first one has the bulletin. The other one has the number. This is how to use the HTML numbers. Okay. This is how to use the HTML numbering. All right. Either you use the bulletin or use the numbered one. That is the order list and unordered list. Okay. So let's quickly talk about the HTML table. If you want to write a table in your HTML, how do you write it? All right. So you quickly write this line. Okay. We have the table tag. Then inside the table tag, we have the T head and we have the T body. Okay. That's the let's write the T head, just like the header of the table. And as well, we have remember the table has a lot of tags in it. It has a lot of tags in it, right? So we have write the tr. The tr will take is the row of that header, all right? So inside the tr, we'll have the th, all right? It has a lot of tags in it. Let's make it 3, all right? The th is the header, so let's call it a serial number. Let's just call it serial number. Let's call it serial number, all right, as the first one, serial number. So the next one will be our first name, all right. The next one will be the last name. You can as well write as many as well, but make sure the number of your th is equals to the number of your tds in your t body. So now let's write the first TR means the row, the table row, all right? So inside the table row, we have the TD. TD means the table data, all right? So make sure the number of your TD is equal to the number of your TH. So let's write the TD. This is the first TD. We'll write, let's call it tempo. Is that my first? Okay, the first thing is the serial number. So let's just copy this down, all right? So you quickly write, my first name is tempo. All right, my last name is Ndeko. All right, so now the table will not look so good, all right, because we have not styled it. We have not started it. So you just come to this place, look at it, look at the table. You see the way it is. Look at it. You see the way it is. So what you're gonna do is, if you come to you have to use CSS to style this table. Okay, you have to use CSS to style this table. So what you're gonna do is you come to, you put a style here and give it a width of 100 pixel, 100%. Let's just give it a width of 400. Let's not make it let's give it a width of 600. We don't want to make it look so big, but you can as well give it a 400 pixel. Let's just take it off. Let's take it off. Let's take the width off. Let's take the width off. Can give it, the best way to give is the 100%. So what you're going to do now is you have to choose, go to your CSS. You have to write a internal CSS. Okay, write internal CSS and style it and give the border. You give it the border. Give a border of let's go to our header here and let's write the style tag. We're gonna do this. We come to your style in the head tag. You write the table, the th, td, all right. Then you now write the border. Give it a border. Okay, a border of, let's say 1 pixel solid black. Okay, so this will give the, look at it, it has given the table the styling, but you can use the CSS collapse. You can also use the collapse. This is the end of our course. This is the end of our tutorial, our HTML tutorial. If you have any question, comment, observations, kindly leave a comment on the videos. I'll do well to respond to you all. Okay, I will be bringing you more videos about web tutorial, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, many more frameworks and Java and programming languages. Okay, do well to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you guys.